Drama City Productions presents.
This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red, a weekly podcast with two good old boys talking about anything and everything that crosses their mind. You may not know what you're going to get with an episode of Paycheck and Red, but you sure know you don't want to miss it. So do what you got to do. Download the app, find the episodes online, and make sure that you don't miss 1 second of Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Excitement high. I need you to keep the momentum flowing easily. Okay, we're just shooting the shit. We're in no hurry, but this is a inappropriate comedic podcast, and that's what we're shooting for. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? How the hell are you? Welcome back to Conversations with Paycheck and Red, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm Paycheck, and that's Red.
What's up, party people? This brand new episode of 2019 is brought to you by Drama City Productions.
Wait. I fucked up. That's a big part of this whole, that should have been in this introduction is the New Year thing. Let's start over.
What do you think, man?
3. Hold on. Easy.
Do it. It's take 2.
We're professional. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? How the hell are you? Welcome back. Conversations with Paycheck and Red. Happy New Year. We're doing it all over again, starting at the top, starting at the front. Day 1, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm Paycheck. And you know who here? Fuck! who he? All right, take 2.
3.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? How the hell are you? Welcome back to Conversations with Paycheck and Red. I'm Paycheck, and as always, I'm with my boy Red.
What's up, party people?
It's a new year. Season 3, Episode 1.
Yes, sir. 2019. The very first episode of 2019 is brought to you by Drama City Productions, the home of Conversations with Paycheck and Red. Flip on over there to dramacityproductions.com and check out all those other podcasts that the network has to offer. There's a damn good pile of them. So
this
don't forget.
This is the regular home now.
The regular home now, yeah.
We're home now.
Oh, yeah. I've kicked my shoes off. I've kicked my shoes off. I'm kicked back. I'm on the DCP couch chilling. What's up with you, man?
What is this episode about?
Oh, we're just gonna shoot the shit, man.
Shooting the shit. This is one of my favorite.
It's the very first episode of the year, so why not start it off inappropriately and comedically? So.
No, we're not actually talking about taking a shit, right?
It's not off the table.
Well, one thing that bothers me about the whole taking a shit thing is you can tell a lot about your health by looking at your shit.
Of course.
Now, I'm not talking about getting a stick and digging through it, looking for corn and whatnot, but
peanuts.
You get an idea on what you're lacking or what you have too much of in your diet based on what your shit looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with this fucking technology that as I stand up to wipe my ass, the fucking toilet flushes.
Right? I hate that.
And then when I go to the fucking sink to wash my hands, you just about have to be a fucking Jedi Knight to make the fucking water come on. Dude, I'm over here at the fucking at the towel paper dispenser, waving my hands across like I'm a fucking Jedi Knight.
Look like you're swatting bees and shit.
Yeah, nothing's happening. People are coming in watching me do this. You know, I look like a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah.
So welcome to 2019. We just got out of 2018, which I would like to think that was the year of technology. We saw a lot of boom in the last 2 years, right? Well, probably more.
Give me some examples because I don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking, I look at all the shit that your phone does now.
Oh well, yeah, phones have been doing that shit, man, for like the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, look at Uber Eats.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers will go to Taco Bell for you, stick their finger in it, take a couple bites on their way to your house, and then you pay them.
Yeah. I've yet to use it though. I haven't been able to use it yet.
I won't use anything like that. The kids were telling me that you don't even have to go to the grocery store and do your grocery shopping anymore. You can just call ahead and order it, everything online, and they'll pack it up and bag it up and have it waiting for you when you pull up.
I've actually done that at Sam's Club. Sam's Club has a pick and pull option.
Yeah.
And you order it online and put whatever store you want it from, and they'll pull it and put it on a cart for you, and it's ready, and you just pay for it when you get there. I have done that, but
what about brand and size and quantity and all that?
Pick it out. You pick it out on the website.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I ain't talking about like groceries and shit now, but I'm like
talking about
like exterior picnic table, chairs thing. Just go ahead and get it picked out, like stuff like that, like lawn furniture, just random shit.
Yeah, I'm talking about groceries.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking, but I don't buy groceries online. I want to go get them shits myself.
Yeah, right?
Mm.
I'd be worried they got me the wrong shit.
Now, I'll tell you what I don't like is fucking self-checkout. That shit. No. I'm paying you to check my shit out. I'm coming in to get it. Fuck that.
Yeah, see, I don't have a dog in that fight. I hear people talk about creating jobs and you shouldn't use the self-checkout. I have a job. You know what I mean? I understand it and I get it. And I would like to be that guy that would only go to an individual, you know, a real person, let them check me out. But at the same time, life today is more about convenience. So I'd prefer just to do my own shit. But every time you go there, for some reason, you have to have somebody come punch in the code.
Yeah, it's fucking pointless.
Yeah. Dude, buying paint. I had to have an associate come over there and check my ID and all kind of shit.
Yep.
I thought once I got a beard with some gray in it that I'd be able to bypass all that shit.
Dude, I still get carded for fucking cigarettes sometimes.
Every now and then I will get carded for cigarettes.
I went into a fucking country store on the way back from work the other day, just a fucking mom and pop's grocerette kind of deal to get cigarettes, and this fucking old lady cards me.
Yeah, it's because they're regulated by.
I know they are, but you have to look 30 or younger.
No, they upped it to like 40 or 45, I think.
Really?
I think. I mean, I don't work in that industry, but
right.
I guess I'm part of that industry.
I guess.
So what's going on new, or let's say, what happened in 2008? Let's recap 2018 a little bit.
All right.
So we had a new year, 2018.
Yep.
That went well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think shortly after that I got married. I think I got married in
March.
And you and your family was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Drove down 14 fucking hours for the weekend.
For 2 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the weekend.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I was a groomsman in your wedding, actually.
Yeah. It was good to have y'all down here. And it's about time. If
you made me buy a $500 suit.
Yeah. Dude, but
for one time.
Yeah. I think it's probably in storage by now, ain't it?
Oh no, it's hanging in my closet, man. I'm still looking for a reason to break that motherfucker out, though. I hadn't found one yet, but I'm still looking.
Shit, I've worn mine. I don't think I've wore the suit that I bought or that I wore in the wedding, but I bought 2 suits at the same time. I've worn the jacket that I got married in, and I've worn my other suit.
What do you do? Wear it with jeans or something?
Yeah, it's a yeah.
You're one of those guys, huh?
If the occasion calls for it.
Dude, that's the first suit I've ever fucking bought. You just sit here and named off 3 or 4 that you own. That's the first suit I've ever fucking bought.
Yeah,
and I'll probably be buried in that suit.
Yeah, but see, I'm a grown up. You know what I mean?
Me too.
You're still hat backwards. Band,
my life doesn't call for me to wear a fucking suit though.
Yeah.
I'm still a grown up, but my life doesn't call for me to wear a fucking suit. I'm still looking for a reason to break that motherfucker out though.
Huh?
I'm still looking for a reason to break that motherfucker out though, because I look fresh to death in that motherfucker.
Yeah, you did, and it's DEF, DEF, just FYI.
What?
It's not fresh to death. It's fresh to death.
That's what I said.
No, you said fresh to death.
Death.
That was,
same shit.
That was super white. That sounded super white when you said that.
That was the point. I'm white.
What the hell? I'm doing a damn podcast in here. I cannot afford these interruptions.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was my
huge argument in 3, 2, 1.
See, I lost my train of thought. We were on a roll there.
Marriage, you got married. We came down, hung out.
Yeah, and then
that kind of shit.
Yeah, I bought the wife a car. That was the first time in a long time. Actually, first time since 2002 that I was able to go into a dealership and get whatever we wanted. That was a good feeling.
What'd you buy her?
A Ford Explorer. And listen, I've never liked the Ford Explorers, but when they first came out, I'd see them riding down the road. I'm a truck driver. I see all the fucking vehicles. And those always stuck out to me. It was crazy. I liked the body style of them. They looked cool to me. And then I started seeing Ford Explorers are pretty big down here with law enforcement. Are they where you live?
It's mostly like Durangos and shit around here.
Durango?
Yeah, because they're 4-wheel drive, snow, and all that shit.
Yeah. And then a family member of hers, he had gotten one for a company vehicle, but it was the souped up, had fucking everything, the running boards, luggage rack. It was badass. So I was asking him about it, and I asked all the man questions, fuel mileage, all that good shit. And the women were talking about, room for the kids, and if we wanted to take the dog with us.
Third row seating, baby.
Huh?
Third row seating.
Yeah, 3. That's it. And that's what we were looking for, something with 3 rows. So there's this website. I forget what it's called, but dude, we didn't do any running around.
TrueCar.
What is it?
TrueCar.com.
That was it. I was talking to somebody about that the other day and I couldn't remember it. TrueCar. That was it.
They're not a sponsor, by the way.
Yeah, they're not a sponsor, but I will say, here's how convenient and helpful this website was. I went onto the website. I put in what kind of vehicle I was looking for, year or make and model, the cost that I wanted to pay, how many miles I wanted, and it literally showed me every Ford Explorer at that year with that mileage at that price. And so I picked one. I called the guy, and this guy text messaged me back with a YouTube video of the fucking vehicle that I was questioning.
Yep.
So I didn't have to waste my time going all the way down there and find out it's some raggedy piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I had an idea on what was wrong with it and what was, And yeah, dude, we went down there and it was a fucking great experience. I got what I was looking for.
Yeah, I also, after you bought your car, I also went to True Car and bought my wife a new car also.
Yeah. So was it the same?
Same deal. Same deal. All I had to do was show up and sign paperwork.
What's that?
All I had to do was show up and sign paperwork. Like the
Oh.
dude done all the credit stuff over the phone. Like, but I put in like the year, make, model stuff, all the things that you did. And I had a couple text messages from a couple car lots trying to get the business or whatever.
Yeah, I did too.
But I picked one that was close to where my wife worked at, so it wouldn't be far to go to do everything. But anyway, same deal. I done all the credit stuff over the phone, talked to the dude all day over the phone. Well, back and forth about, because they had a couple that we were looking at. We were looking at color and what it all had in it and all that kind of shit. So I was back and forth about which one we were wanting. But I got off work, picked the wife up. We drove to the car lot, test drove it, brought it back, signed papers, and drove off in it. Like, I didn't really do, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of legwork at all. Like normal, you go to the car lot and finagle with a fucking salesman for 5 and 6 hours to buy a fucking car. I was at work and bought a fucking car, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I got off work, went and signed the papers, and drove the motherfucker home. So it was pretty cool.
But, you know, that ties into the whole convenience thing that we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's crazy that you can be at work and buy a car. But, you know, the convenience thing, dude, I hated the whole process of going to buy a vehicle. I hated it. Yep. But what I was talking about, you know, I got my credit situated. So I can go in there and, you know, and I could have purchased anything that we wanted. But that was always one of the things that I hated about going in there in the past, before all this technology and shit, is, you know, that it almost felt like you were at the principal's office. You know what I mean? Sitting in the chair across from his fucking desk while he was running numbers, and he was like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I've been in car lots so long that the fucking salesmen go and get us lunch and bring it back because we've been there so fucking long.
Yeah, because they're gonna get a commission off of a.
Right, I'm saying they had to feed our motherfucking ass just to be able to stay there that long to buy a fucking car.
Yeah, I've heard that it is policy for them to do everything they can do to keep you from leaving. I just wish, you know, I know it's all business and shit, but I know what's going on. You know what I mean? They're wasting my time going back and forth and talking to some other dude. Well, why am I talking to you? I should just be talking to that dude.
Yep.
And then we bought cars and we went on vacation together.
Oh, dude, that was fucking awesome. I was getting ready to mention that.
And where was that at? Because I think we say it differently. Now, before you say it, just for to remind our listeners, I'm from Georgia. Okay, I know how this city is pronounced, but where did we go, Red?
We went to Valdosta, Georgia.
Valdosta is what this motherfucker is calling Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah, it's Valdosta. Anyway,
what do we do in Valdosta?
We rode some rides. We rode some amusement park rides.
Yeah.
We went water sliding. Went out to dinner. Had a pretty good damn time. We even attempted to record a podcast that I still have possession of that we've never fucking released.
Yeah.
First ever face-to-face episode that we've ever had.
What?
I said the first ever face-to-face episode we ever done, and I've never fucking released it.
Damn, that is true.
Yep. We're doing that again this year, right?
What's that?
We're doing that again this year, right?
I hope to.
Maybe not to Valdosta, but somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd like to switch it up and go somewhere else. I like to. Hey, can I get something to drink? There ain't no tea. I don't know what happened to my tea maker.
Hey man, we're trying to do a podcast here.
No, I want tea.
You just said there wasn't no tea.
I know that.
Tea?
Listen,
Is that what you want? Or do you want water?
I'd like to have some tea. You're slamming shit. All right, the water's fine.
Argument in 3, 2, 1. That's why I bring my drink with me, man. I'm prepared.
Yeah. I'm not the I'm not the overbearing chauvinist husband. The truth of the matter is that she makes the best tea.
Oh, I beg to differ. My mama makes the best tea.
No, I'm saying out of the two of us,
Oh.
I enjoy her tea quite thoroughly. As opposed to
Thoroughly.
mine.
Thoroughly, not thoroughly. Thorough.
No, it's thoroughly.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's THRO. That's thorough. Lee. Yeah?
THRO is throw, motherfucker.
I said THORO.
Didn't. You said THRO, and THRO is throw.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're recording this.
Good thing.
So it's
'Cause I'm-
thorough.
It's thorough.
Nah.
And it's
That's
West
West Virginia.
Valdosta.
That's West Virginia speak up
I
there.
think that should do with West Virginia. That's the way it's pronounced. It's thorough.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you for some reason.
Of course you are. Like a fucking meerkat over there popping up out of a fucking hole looking around.
I was talking to my tea maker in there making all that racket.
Uh-huh.
Quiet down in there, would you? See, did I mention I got married this year?
Yeah.
Going great. Going great. Oh shit. Married, car, vacation, podcast. We have almost been doing this podcast for a year. I mean, we're a few months shy of a year.
April 7th will be a year.
April.
Yeah.
That's big for me. I have commitment issues.
Yeah, I know you do. I appreciate you sticking it out that long.
Uh-huh.
I said, I appreciate you sticking it out that long.
It's been a struggle.
Yeah. This podcast wouldn't be the same if it was conversations with Red, because I'm a boring motherfucker.
I enjoyed doing the podcast. It's a character flaw that I have. I'm not great at anything, but I'm good at a lot of shit. And it's because I'll find something that I'm passionate about. I'll be passionate than a motherfucker for about 3-4 months. I'll be the most passionatest motherfucker you've ever met for about 4 months.
Yeah.
Then I'm on to the next thing. I can play guitar a little bit. I can play the didgeridoo a little bit. I can play the keyboard a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can do shit good enough to where if you were to come to my house for a visit, you know, I'm talking about like a stop by, you know, 30, 45 minutes. You
Yeah.
leave here thinking the motherfucker sings. This motherfucker plays the didgeridoo.
Yeah, as my daddy called him, you're a half-asser. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
you
it. Yeah. So it's like a yin and yang. It's like a good and bad. It's like an up and down. It's a good and a bad. I like it and I don't like it. I don't like it because it's a character flaw. It's like I don't finish anything.
Anything around the house.
But I start a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
A lot of process going on.
Listen, I don't need no damn cheering section back there talking about what projects I've completed and have not completed.
Whenever we first started doing this, back in April of of 2018. How did you expect this whole thing to go? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Honestly, full transparency, and I don't know if our listeners know this or not. They may, but this isn't my gig. This is Red's gig. I like talking to Red. He's my best friend. I talk to him on a daily basis, and we crack up and we laugh and we have a good time. So we decided to record it. So to me, that's what I'm doing. I'm talking to my friend. Sometimes I don't like him. Sometimes I don't want to talk to him. Sometimes I get in this little depressive, secluded, recluse state where I don't want to talk to anybody. You know what I mean? But to Red, this is a podcast. To me, this is just me talking to Red.
All right, so don't take away the validity of our friendship to me like that, because it means more to me than just a podcast, man.
No, I know that. What I'm saying is that it takes effort for me to understand. Are there people listening to us? Do people want to hear us? And you know, are we making a difference? You know, some of the interviews that we've done and some of the topics that we've covered. You know, we've always said that we want to talk about shit that people don't. That's a big deal to me. So I'm in on that. I get that, and I want to be involved in that. But I don't understand the podcast world yet. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know what people want to hear. So that's stressful for me. Because I want to talk about all kinds of shit, but I don't want to bore people. I don't want to get stuck on one topic or one. I don't want to be stereotyped. I don't want to be fucking Arnold having to say, what you talking about, Willis? You know, for the rest of my damn life. I don't want to have to say, what's up? Or what are you talking about, Willis, for the rest of my damn life?
Yeah.
What was your expectations? Why are we doing this? What's the end game here?
Well, I mean, when we first started doing it, it was just something to do because we were already doing it anyway. You know, so whenever we started this, I really didn't have any inclination about the podcast community. I knew nothing about it. I just knew that they existed, and I listened to a few of them, but I didn't know that the community was so huge because me and you both came from and still are a part of the beard community and going to competitions and meeting people and sleeping at one another's houses and, you know what I mean, doing all kind of crazy shit. So whenever we started doing this podcast, you know, I was the same way. Like, who the hell wants to listen to this? We're just doing it because we're already doing it anyway. So we record 1, 2, 3 episodes, and we make them live to the public. And I was expecting maybe 100, couple hundred total this whole entire time, because nobody wants to hear 2 regular guys talk about fucking being a man and masturbation and fucking sex toys and shit like that. Nobody wants to hear people talk about that shit. That's weird shit to talk about. You don't talk about shit like that. Not out in public anyway. But it turns out that people do want to hear regular Joes talk about that kind of shit. And they want to hear conspiracy theory, and they want to hear, you know, just 2 random guys just talk shit back and forth, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, but how do you know that? How do you know what people want to hear? I know now that there are people who are podcast listeners. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They listen to several of them, and they listen. Some people listen to them all day. So are there people who are listening to a particular type of podcast? And if so, what type of podcast are we?
Well, there's a genre, just like there is music when it comes to podcasting. There's comedies, there's religious, there's financial, there's, you know, self-help, there's, you know, music podcasts, movie podcasts. I mean, there's a wide variety of them. So people get to pick what kind of podcast they want to listen to, you know. So they go through this huge fucking list of different kinds of podcasts in whatever genre they're looking at, and they pick one and they listen to it. And I mean, from what I've seen, there's people from 17 years old to 65 and 70 years old listening to Conversations with Paycheck and Red. So there's a wide variety of people listening. And whenever we broke 500 listens in a couple months, man, that shit blew my damn mind. Like, there's that many people listening to my voice and your voice talk about stupid shit. And now we're, 8-9 months into this shit now, and we're creeping up on 5,000. And I'm not tooting the horn or nothing like that, but that blows my mind, man. I mean, there's podcasts out there doing hundreds of thousands of downloads a day, but that's people like Joe Rogan and Bill Burr and fucking Howard Stern and people like that. So, for that many people, there's 5,000 people, or 5,000 times. I'm assuming 5 to 6,000 people or whatever. I'm not doing math or whatever on this planet that have heard my voice and your voice and heard us talk about this shit. For what?
Talk about what?
Our topics, whatever our topics.
That's the weird thing about this podcast, is that we don't really fit into a particular category or a genre. I mean, we talk about everything.
Yeah, and it's more of a, I mean, we are two guys that give our opinions and our thoughts on random topics. So, for whatever, the human brain is a weird fucking thing, man. Like, why do people want to hear us talk about that kind of shit?
Well, I know that I'm not a podcaster.
What makes it that interesting for people to want to hear us talk about it?
I'm a YouTube guy, and there are videos of cats playing the piano with millions of views. So you're right. People watch and listen to a variety of weird shit. So I'd say that would the category we'd be in is weird shit. Well, no.
I mean, we're funny. We've touched on the serious side of Paycheck and Red, just a glimpse a few times, but for the most part, we laugh, we cut up, we cuss at one another, we laugh at inappropriate shit. So I think for 2019 anyway, that we are inappropriate comedy.
Yeah, I like that. Inappropriate comedy.
Yeah.
So that's Paycheck and Red in 2019.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, man. Like, we just had an episode, our last episode of 2018 was about homelessness.
Yeah.
And to the majority of the population, that's a serious, touchy subject. And it is, totally.
How's that episode doing?
Pretty good. But we found humor in it. That's inappropriate.
That is very inappropriate. How dare you?
We laughed at things having to deal with homelessness.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate comedy. That's what it is. we find humor in the darkest shit. I mean, but
that's
we also find humor in, we find our own unique humor in funny stuff, but things like men's fashion. How many men do you know sit around and talk about what they wear in tomorrow, or what they think is the most popular thing to wear, or?
It's because we live in a society of liars. Men talk about this shit that we're talking about. They're just most of them, they lie about it. Guys,
so we talked about it. So they didn't have to.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But so,
I still feel like that's our thing. We talk about it so you don't have to, but I've battled with the genre of this podcast or what category to put us in, because I'm like you, I don't want to be stuck in one particular category. I like to keep it universal. But the basis of this podcast is comedy. We're funny guys. We laugh and we talk and we cut up and we bullshit every day on the phone. We're funny dudes. So
That sounds so white when you say that. Funny dudes.
we're funny guys. We're two humorous males.
Yeah. Would you consider the word dude a white term, a white word?
No.
Do you know black guys that say dude?
Yep.
Do you really?
I have in the past. Yeah, I don't know any currently, but yeah, I have known.
You don't know any black people currently, or you don't know any black people who that say dude?
I know lots of black people currently, but I don't know anybody right now that says dude of color.
So what do they say? What do black dudes say?
Whatever, I don't. Whatever they want to say, just like white people and Mexicans, whatever they want. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, homie, brother,
Oh,
yo.
so it's a culture thing. It's like,
Right.
I'm sure that
That's kind of
you have thought about how you address people in public. Just something as simple as if somebody says, hey to you. So imagine you're on the shitter in the morning and you just go through a few random, hey, hi, hey, what's up? Hey, how about it now? All right now.
I see, maybe at one time, but after I had that meeting with myself, I've already got my thing now. I don't have to.
So have you been through several? Like, back in the day,
I tossed around 6 or 7. Yeah.
yeah. Can you name any of them?
Yeah. What's up? Hey, right back.
Wait. So if I was like, hey, Wayne, what's up? You'd be like, hey,
Hey.
hey. Have
Hi.
you ever greeted somebody with a hi?
No, never in my life.
Hi.
To be funny, yeah, but seriously, no, never done that. Never used hi.
So what about on the phone? Like if you're calling a bill collector or something official like, do you ever say hi? My name is Wayne and I'm calling in regards to? You probably say, hey darling, or hey sugar britches.
Well, to a bill collector, I'm like, hey, this is Wayne Mincy. I'm calling about whatever, but
So, but hey is a bit informal, isn't it?
I'm an informal guy. I just told you I own one suit and you made me buy it, so I'm not a formal dude.
So
Dressing up to me is a pair of khakis and a polo shirt.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's dressing up to me. So I don't do formal. Hey, what's up? My thing now, and what I've done for quite some time now is, all right now.
Yeah.
That's
All
what
right, now.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my thing. So
Yeah, but if you had an opportunity to meet the president of the United States, it doesn't necessarily have to be the current one. I'm just talking about in general. Would you show up with a pair of khakis and a button-up shirt and be like, all right now?
I'd wear my Sunday best, son.
You wear a suit.
Khakis and a polo, man. I never wore a suit to church.
When you say polo, you're talking about a short sleeve.
Yeah. I mean, I've owned
Wait a minute.
I've owned a couple long sleeve polo shirts before, but yeah, short sleeve is cool. Yeah.
When I see khakis and a short sleeve dress shirt,
Right.
I think of that 6-7-year-old boy that mommy dressed him to go to church in his little, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I come from the deep south of South Carolina, so that was church clothes to me. So that's dressing up. It don't get no more dressier than church. So whenever your mama said, "Go get dressed, we going to dinner,"
Wait a minute.
put my khakis in my polo.
Are you insinuating that South Carolina is more country than South Georgia?
No, I just said I come from the deep south of South Carolina. I didn't say it was more southern. Obviously, Georgia's more southern.
Yeah, no, you don't come from the deep nothing. You come from South Carolina. Now you can come from the deep South.
I was not raised in Myrtle Beach. Okay? I was not raised in the suburbs of Myrtle Beach. I was not raised in the suburbs of any surrounding town. I was raised in the fucking country. Pine trees and red clay. And dirt roads. That's deep south to me.
Oh, so you were raised in Georgia?
No. South Carolina. There's Georgia pines in South Carolina and red clay. So
yeah, I was a little offended for a second there when you said you come from the deep south.
I do. Nobody's taking that away from you. You come from just the deep south. I mean,
listen, but if your state is adjacent to another state that has the word north in it, then you are not in the motherfucking south.
Yeah.
Where you live at? You were the Union. You were Union.
Oh.
At least half of y'all was in the Union.
No. What?
Yeah.
Dude, the Union didn't start until like the top half of Virginia and into West Virginia. Anything below that was rebels, man.
No.
Yeah.
I just watched a movie based on real life.
Matthew fucking McConaughey in it. Check your fucking history, dude.
Yeah.
Check your history. Okay? If there's anything I know, it's Southern heritage. And the culture come from.
Well, that's a good point. We can talk about that because I'm going through this thing right now. Forgive me if I sound a little weird. I'm coming off of this flu-ish type cold or whatever. It's been ridiculous, but so I grew up.
If anybody recalls, the previous episode is when that sickness began.
Yeah, I was coughing a lot and shit.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, real quick backstory. So, because I was raised on military bases, and we moved all over the world and everything, I learned the word propaganda very quickly, and I was introduced to how governments and elites and different people control the world and this and that. So when I went to school and I was reading history books, the government decides what the curriculum is. So what they teach you, and what is that? Is that code?
No, I'm scratching my head.
I thought that was code for something.
No. That's code.
So when I got out of high school, you take your social studies, civics class, whatever. But then I came across a book, and the guy that handed it to me said, "The winners of wars write the history books." And that always stuck with me, that in a weird way, you're getting one side of the story. You're getting the winner side of the story. That's who's in the history books. So I came across the book that told a completely different story of the Civil War entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people think that the Civil War was based on slavery.
Nope.
I just watched a movie about the Civil War, and it talked about the implosion of a lot of the Confederate Army, how there were Confederate soldiers going around to Confederate states collecting taxes and stealing fabrics and ammo and livestock to support the Confederate Army. So they're going to your parents' house. You lived in a Confederate state of South Carolina, right?
Yep.
Okay. So your own people were coming to your parents' house, stealing all their shit to support the war on the Confederate side.
Okay.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
See, that's not in the history books.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you about the North versus the South.
The city that I moved to when I moved to West Virginia is where the first land battle of the Civil War happened.
In what city?
Philippi, West Virginia.
So how did you know this? I'm sure that there's historic information all over that place in regard to that.
Yeah. And I've also read it, but I knew it before I moved up here. And I've read it in a book. It's part of history.
So say that to me again. That was the first battle fought.
First land battle of the Civil War was fought in Philippi, West Virginia, the city that I moved to when I moved to West Virginia.
Well, just in the few movies that I've seen about the Civil War, can you imagine having the ability to use a metal detector? You know how much shit that you would find if you were able to do like a mass metal detection? You know what I mean?
There's a whole entire museum in town, in that city, just for that.
Really?
Yeah. They even have part of the hill that it happened on, like, fenced off and markers and the history of it and all that kind of shit. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Is there any dead bodies in there?
There's mummies.
Shut your mouth.
Get outside.
Some family let somebody do that to their loved one?
And it was, if I'm not mistaken, and anybody that knows the information, how about put a comment somewhere? But I'm pretty sure that it was unmarked soldiers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think so.
So what? You're better than me now because you live in a historic place?
No, man. I mean, even when I lived in South Carolina, I lived in historic South Carolina, where a lot of historical shit happened.
I told you that time I went through South Carolina and crossed the Harriet Tubman Bridge. I felt some weird shit. You could tell some shit had happened in that area.
Right.
Like the whole vibe was. It hasn't been commercialized. There hasn't been a lot of building in the area. So a lot of the shit that I saw, I mean, you could tell that this was some, you could still see the history in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Almost like it wasn't touched by man yet.
Right. The city that I grew up in South Carolina, and where I went to high school, had a lot of historical value as far as Civil War history. Part of that Harriet Tubman, what do they call it? The
Underground Railroad.
Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
A lot of there's a couple places that I lived near that was part of the Underground Railroad.
Well, the weird thing about this country, as new as it is, I lived in North Carolina for a while, where there was a lot of Native American historical relevance.
Yeah. Yep. Where I came from also had a lot of Native American influence.
Yeah. Like I think that's where I started learning a little bit more about the Native American culture. The Lumbee tribe is huge in North Carolina. There was some Cherokee there, which is what my family is. I mean, I know it's weird to me, but because most of my family's light featured, blonde hair, blue eyes. We got a lot of Native American in us, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But that's the shit right there that keeps me up at night, man. Thinking about life and how it works and how we got to where we are, all the death and all the negative shit, that's happened just in this country alone is just crazy to me. So we were talking about, the goal for this podcast. And one thing that it's been a little different. I've been on this weird little journey, but it's weird how we live our lives according to what society says. Like, even you and I are guilty of doing what somebody else is telling us to do, living how somebody else tells us that we're supposed to live.
Mhm.
You are only allowed to be with one woman, Red. The government says that.
Mhm.
You are not, I don't know about where you live at, but here in Florida, it is illegal to collect rainwater.
Here too.
That's crazy.
It is.
So my goal for this podcast is to create more free thinkers. Like, we're talking about shit so people don't have to.
Yep.
But I want people to start talking about shit. Like love. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and they're single and they can't find love. But what they meant is that they're single and they can't find a title to hold on to. Because society
How do you mean?
says that you're supposed to go to school, go to college, graduate college, get a career, get married, and have kids and have grandkids. So you take somebody who can't find a person that is willing to sign a piece of paper with them in unity, but then they forget about all the relationships in general that they've had. So if you're just dating, dude, that's a lot of relationships you're in. Right? Okay, so picture this. So there's a female, she's dating, right? A lot, what'd you say?
I said I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Say there's a female and she's looking for love. So while she's looking for love, she's dating. During this dating, she's created relationships. So she might be seeing this guy over here. She might be seeing this guy over here. She might be seeing this guy over here. And we're not talking about a sexual thing. We're talking about just having a relationship.
I was getting ready to ask if she was putting out to all these dudes. That's important.
Well, I mean, but that's irrelevant. We're talking about a relationship with an individual.
Yeah.
So in reality, she is in a relationship. She should be enjoying several of these relationships instead of defining one or looking for someone to say, you know, I like you, do you like me, check box, yes or no, or are we official? You know, society says that you have to say, okay, we are together, we are married, we are unified. I don't want to get caught on just that area. I'm trying to keep it in a broad sense here that we live in a world where people are literally telling us what to do, how to raise our kids, what to eat. Who says that we're supposed to go to high school and then go to college and then get a career and then, you know, have a family? Who says that? Why do we have to do that?
Because everybody else is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're following the herd here. In every aspect. If you think about it, everything that you do is because somebody told you to do it. Somebody told you that this is how you're supposed to do it. You can be an individual. You can think you're an individual all you want to. But the truth is that you're only doing what your dad told you to do. He's doing what his dad told him to do, and so forth and so on. Until one day, somebody stops and says, whoa, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And at that point, you become a free thinker, you become an individual, and you become happier, I believe. That's your purpose in life.
Happiness?
Yes, as you and how you want to be.
Yeah, but man, whenever you become an adult and you start procreating and having children, your life no longer matters. You can't live for you anymore.
Wow.
You can. I mean, everybody's entitled to happiness. You take care of yourself, but your main concern is your offspring, not yourself.
No. Do my offspring die with me?
Do they what?
Do they die when I die?
No. I mean, theoretically not. I mean, physically
No.
they no.
Listen, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but hear me out for a second. You come into this world by yourself as an individual.
Right. I get
You-
it. I totally understand where you're coming from.
You almost come into this world as a superhero. Think about that for a second. I know, dude, it's so weird, but hear me out. You are 100% free internally, mentally, emotionally. You are free of stereotypes, stigmas. Your parents teach you everything as a child.
Yeah, because they're supposed to.
Okay, so what if your parents are wrong? What if, I know this is gonna sound super weird, but what if the A didn't make a ah sound? Somebody just said, hey, I got an idea. See this A right here? This looks like ah to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet, I don't know that to be fact. This person doesn't know it to be fact. I mean, for crying out loud, the asshole that named Orange, I mean, what's up with that guy? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I get it, man. I get it. But
So my point to what you said about your offspring, you're talking to a dad of 3 daughters who I love dearly. But it is only my responsibility to bring them into this world and nurture them until they are able to walk on their own 2 feet and carry their own shit. After that, in reality, survival is on them. I cannot force feed my kids. I can't force them to take showers. I can't force them to go to school. Right?
no, you're their parent.
Can you physically force your kids to do something?
I've been known to, yeah.
Give me an example.
Without sounding like a bad parent, my kids get whippings, man. My kids get their ass whipped.
Okay, but
That's forcefully making them do something.
no, that's inflicting punishment for them not doing.
Oh no, you get your ass whipped if you don't clean your room.
Right, but again, you're
Right.
not forcing them to clean their room. You're punishing them for not cleaning their room. They could tote that ass whooping and still say, you know what? Fuck that. I am still not cleaning my room, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you know, they might tote another ass whooping or whatever, but my thought is still valid and relevant in that you
Oh, yeah,
cannot force another human being to do anything. Even if I had a gun pointed at you, you still have the ability to decline. You may have to suffer the consequences and the punishments, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you still are you, and you still have full control over you, and you have that ability from the time that you are able to walk on your own 2 feet and carry shit. Dude, I have this conversation in my house a lot, and I'm sure it pisses everybody off, but if you're not physically able to go to work and bring home money in which I can pay a fucking bill, no problem. So let's take it back to this crazy, secluded village on some crazy ass fucking island. You had, and we've talked about this in one of our episodes, but you might be a good sewer. So guess what? You're the village fucking sewer. Congratulations, you are contributing to the village. Good for you. Oh, you're a good hunter? Great. Go out, kill shit so we can bring back and eat. You are contributing to the village. So same thing goes in my house. You better be contributing to the village one way or another. It don't matter how old you are. And listen, if we're running from an apex predator, my instinct, my survival instinct is going to kick in. My kids, I guess their instinct survival didn't kick in because they didn't run faster than me.
That's wrong, man.
That is wrong, and you know I'm joking. But my point is that you come into this world alone. I mean, and you leave this world alone. People talk about, oh, my kids are my one and only. They're the most important thing to me. No, motherfucker. The most important thing to you should be you, because without you, there is no them.
So you wouldn't give up your last piece of bread to your youngin'? You'd eat it yourself?
No, I would half it equally. But I'm gonna eat, motherfucker. I'm as equally as important as my kids are. In it, more so almost. Because I'm pretty sure I'm the motherfucker who ain't got that bread. So if you want some more of it, then I might better have me a piece of it. You know what I'm saying?
God almighty. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's this movie coming out talking about 2018. It's the end of 2018, but I watched the movie that has been highly publicized on fucking social medias, and that's Bird Box.
Oh God, dude, really? We're gonna do that?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It's a good fucking movie.
No, the fuck it wasn't.
Well, it offered more questions than anything at the end. But one thing was important when they were on the boat, and she's like, "One of y'all motherfuckers are gonna have to look, because I'm the one that's steering this fucking boat. I'm the one that's leading us right now."
Right.
Well, again, you proving my point in that society says that you're supposed to be the alpha male, you're supposed to be the provider, and you are supposed to die in order for your kids to have...
The government's not telling me that. My fucking instincts is telling me that. The fucking caveman worked the same way. The government didn't tell the caveman to act that way. The fucking male caveman was the head of his fucking household, and he provided and took care of his family.
Yeah, I take that back. What I mean is, you are as equally as important as those kids. The number one person in your life should be you. The most important person in your life should be you. Your kids...
I take care of myself, Paycheck.
Barely. I mean, you're looking kind of rough these days.
I look out for number one. You can believe that. Because I feel the same way. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be. But in order for their existence to continue, that's up to me until they reach the age of accountability.
Which is how old do you think?
14 years old. That's what the Bible says. The age of accountability is 14, biblically.
Where do you see that in the Bible? I'm gonna need that scripture.
I can't remember the scripture, but it's in the Bible. The age of accountability is about 14, 12 to 14 years old. But I'm looking on the high side of that because a 12-year-old is an irresponsible motherfucker.
Well, because by law, at 12 years old, the government deems them capable of making a decision on which parent they're going to live with in the case of a divorce.
Right. But
and
I'm saying moral accountability.
I know fucking grown men and women that.
Right, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. They have the moral capacity to survive on their own. Socially, physically, mentally, the whole 9 yards. They should be able to function in society on their own at 14 years old.
Yeah.
Your wife
I'm
proved
all about family. You know, I'm a family man.
Your wife proved that. But what I'm saying is, I said your wife proved that.
Right.
In her story last week.
Yeah.
But I am in charge of the outcome of my family. What? Listen to me. Let me finish my thought first. I don't want to shaking your damn head. Okay. It's my duty as a father, as a figurehead of my family, to make sure my family's taken care of. Of course, you know, whenever you get a certain age, you got to feed your fucking self. I can't feed you. You're way old enough to fucking feed yourself.
Yeah.
You're old enough to desire an education. You're old enough to desire a family. You're old enough to desire whatever you want to. But according to the government, you can't do that until you're 18.
Right.
Unless you emancipate yourself like your wife did. But I look out for me. You know, a lot of people don't. A lot of people let themselves go. I look out for me as a person, as a human being on this earth, but I also, my number one priority is not me.
Well, you understand that your main purpose in this life may not to have just to have kids.
No, it's not. No.
So you in a literal sense, your job is complete after conception.
No.
You created life.
A newborn baby cannot feed themselves.
No,
they rely on you.
No, they rely on mom.
Okay, when they start eating meat, they don't go to mama.
All right, fair enough. But you see what I'm saying? I'm in the financial situation that I'm in because I pay myself first. I will have the things that I like.
Absolutely.
I will do the things that I like to do. I will live life to the fullest.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to let bills and taxes and, you know, everything else live my life for me. But I'm not a materialistic person.
See, I have a saying. I've heard people say, you know, what's the saying? Two things you have to do is die and pay taxes.
Yeah.
See, I disagree with that. My thing is stay white and die.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't have to pay taxes. I might get jailed for it.
Yeah.
But you can't switch races physically. So all I have to do is stay white and die.
See, again, the man says that you're white and this person is Hispanic and this person is black. Man did that. That's not real. That's not real life.
No, it's a geographical region, man.
Well, not just that, but I mean, it's
If that was the case, we'd all be one color.
Well, geographical location doesn't say that this person is black or this person's white or this person's, you know.
It's the region they come from. It's the region they come from. Obviously, people born below the equator are closer to the fucking sun, which means their skin is darker.
Right.
That's geographical location. And what goes along with that is the culture that they're born in.
Yeah, but
if what you're saying it was correct, we'd all be the same color.
Yeah, but what you're saying was only a temporary time frame.
No, that's since the beginning of time.
Right. But that's not the case today.
Obviously not.
See, that's what I'm saying is that
that's why the fucking Cheeto's trying to build a wall.
No, he's trying to build a wall because everybody else has walls.
If we were the same color, he wouldn't build a wall. According to what you're saying. There are differences. There are differences. You're talking about man coming up with color and race and all that shit. Man didn't come up with that shit. That's time.
When you were born, did you know what color you were?
No, I don't know anything.
No, somebody told you that you were a white guy.
You gonna do this same shit in 2019 also?
Yeah. Listen, my goal is to create free thinkers, question everything. Everything's a lie.
No.
You're just a fucking person. I'm just like you. You're just like me. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, where you come from, what you eat, the traditions that you follow.
Shut the fuck up and listen for a minute. Listen for a second. That ain't got nothing to do with anything.
Well, of course it does. That's to do with this podcast.
No, we are different colors because of geographical region.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Man just put a name to it.
Listen,
It's still a different shade of another color.
Okay, listen. There is only one region in which everybody looks the same. Do you know what region that is?
What are you talking about? Everybody looks the same depending on where they come from.
No. There is only one region in which everybody looks the same.
Aborigines.
No, Asia.
We don't.
You don't see a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people walking around in Asia.
No, that's region. That's culture. That's
Right. Okay, wait a minute. Work with me here. Are there white people in Africa?
Yeah.
Are there black people in Africa?
Yeah.
Are there white people in America?
Yeah.
And black people in America?
Yeah.
Are there white people in Brazil?
Yeah.
Cuba?
Yeah.
The Middle East?
Sure.
Okay. Every other region has a variety of color, if you will. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
diversity.
Right. But the way you're saying it is that anybody that lives close to the equator is dark, and anybody who doesn't live close to the equator is light.
That's where their color originated from.
Right. So, but that's only a very small temporary time frame.
No.
Yeah, it's where it was the origination, if you will. And to be honest with you, was there a time where there were only this color here and this color there? No. Yeah, we're going deep today, boy. We are going deep. Look at it. Your brain is smoking right now, boy.
No, it's not. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this because I don't understand.
My point is that, again, everybody is the same. We are just people.
Humanity.
Wait a minute. You asked me, let me answer you. We are all just people. Somebody told us that you're this color and you're this color and you're this color and you're that color. However, when you were born, you are the most purest form of you. Your speech was even different. You were talking as a baby, correct? Okay. But somebody made up the alphabet and created the English language. Somebody did, right?
Sure.
And they're telling this baby, no, it's not wah, wah, whatever, this is how you talk. What if, in a weird way, who you are as a baby is the real you and the real life you're supposed to be living, but you're unable to live your life as you completely because people tell you this is the language that you're supposed to speak. This is the culture that you're supposed to follow. These are the traditions that you're supposed to follow. This is your heritage and this is your future. So we live our life according to that. Yeah, for somebody who talks about how great your camera is, you sure are blurry as a motherfucker, right?
Here it goes. Wait a minute. I was trying to get myself back in focus here, man.
Yeah, I see you rocking back and forth trying to get that motherfucker to focus. It's probably that red hue you have all over your face right now.
Hey, man, it's cold up here, okay?
Yeah, for those who don't know,
hey, look at that.
If you want to see us, go to YouTube. But Red is, he's got a little heater, an electric heater, underneath his feet. And there's a red hue all over his face.
I hate it so bad, man. I look evil.
But see, I don't want to get caught up in the words that we're saying. I want people to understand that question everything, every fucking thing, everything. all the way down to the beginning of your thought process. You have been told by somebody else.
Question yourself?
Huh?
You said question yourself?
Oh, did I say question yourself?
You said question even your first thought. Don't ever second guess yourself, man.
No. You should always second guess yourself. Listen, as an adult, I have a two thought process. The first one is that instinctual, shoot from the hip, emotional response.
Right.
That usually is not the right response. So give yourself just a second, and then other thoughts will start flowing in your head, more rational ones. It's a little more thought out.
I'm spontaneous, man. If I'm thinking it, I might as well be saying it.
And that's why you're wearing Crocs and shorts with a sweatshirt on in 34-degree weather in West Virginia.
I guarantee you right now, I'm not wearing Crocs or fucking shorts. Guarantee you I'm not.
Okay. Slip-ons and Adidas pants.
Nope. Wrong again.
Both of them?
Both.
You wearing for real britches today?
For real britches.
Yeah.
For real britches and for real Nike tennis shoes.
But
also not sponsored.
You're a smart guy.
Of course I am.
Sure, you understand what I'm saying here.
Of course.
Everything that you think, or everything that you believe to be moral, has been taught to you. What you deem to be moral is not the case in another individual in another culture.
See, here's my thing. When you come out of the womb, you automatically know right from wrong. You don't need to be taught that. You know instinctually it's wrong to kill your mama because that's where your food comes from.
Not when you're first born. That is not true.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's instinct, man.
You don't have a concept of right and wrong as an infant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
You think I was taught that it was wrong to kill my mom and daddy? I automatically know that because that's my source of that's my source of life. Why would I kill them?
Yeah, but you didn't have those thoughts as an infant.
No, but you know that it's wrong. Subconsciously, you know that it's wrong to eliminate your source of survival.
Yeah, not as an infant.
Yes, you do.
You have a natural survival instinct as an infant. Yes. But you don't have a right and wrong concept as a child because you don't know that there's any wrong. You live in a life of right and purity, rainbows and fucking unicorns.
Calm down, Gandhi.
But you see what I'm saying? As an infant, you don't know wrong. You only know right. You don't know prejudice. You don't know racism. You don't know homophobia. You don't know any of that stuff. Only thing you know is love for your mom and your dad if he did it right.
At birth, you know love at birth.
Love is a infinite.
You know the concept of love.
Yes.
At birth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's matter of fact, so much so that the mom has it naturally, but the dad has to create it. But the dad can create it before that child is born.
No. I knew before, dude, no.
Yeah.
No. Before my first daughter was ever conceived, I loved the thought of her.
Right.
She was not a being when I started loving her.
I'm not talking about your love. I'm talking about her love.
No, I don't think you're aware of the concept of love. You know the feeling of it or the nurturing part of it, but you don't know what to call it. You don't know that's love. You just know that's a survival instinct. To latch on and feed.
So you don't think a baby, an infant, feels the love
It
from
feels safety. It feels safety. It feels warmth, like where it came from. That's not love. That's security.
I can see that. I'm still gonna disagree.
That's survival.
I hear you. That's a good point. But I would still say that it is love.
The concept of love does not exist to a brand new from the womb baby. Absolutely not. Not the
Dude,
concept of love. Not the concept of love. No, they know that as survival and comfort and security. They don't know that the word love does not come into their brain at birth.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Love. Because
Okay.
man also created that word also. If you want to get technical about it, there's no
Wait a
word
minute.
for that.
What? Say that again?
Word for that.
What?
You're talking about men coming up with the alphabet and man calling colors and all that shit. Man created the concept of love. They called it something. They made a word for it.
Right.
True.
But that doesn't disregard the existence of it.
No, it doesn't disregard the existence of color either.
But listen, let's stay on track here.
I am.
You're saying that an infant is not born with the
Concept
verb,
of love.
the verb love, the act of, the feeling of.
They don't know it.
Okay, stop there for a second.
They learn it. They
Wait a
learn
minute,
it.
wait a minute. Okay, let me ask you this then. Do they know the verb, the action of pain?
No.
Okay, so work with me here.
Till they're taught. That's what you call that particular feeling. They know
Yeah, but
not.
listen, I'm not talking about the name of it. That's why I keep saying the verb, the action of. I'm not talking about the name of it. Just disregard the name. We're gonna say the name just for conversational purposes.
Exactly what you're talking about. No, they don't.
Okay,
No.
so wait a minute. So are you telling me that? Okay, let's do it like this. True or false?
All right.
Wait. This is important. True or false? A mother in distress. Can a baby feels that?
The distress, the physical distress. Yes.
No, it could be emotional, mental, physical. I'm talking about the word distress in general.
I don't know if they conceptualize emotion or not, man.
Wait a minute now. Have you
Oh,
ever
no.
heard people say, don't get all riled up, don't get all riled up. You know, the baby. A baby can sense a mother in distress, physically, emotionally, physically, emotionally, and
Mentally.
Mentally. So you're telling me that a baby cannot sense or feel those things?
They feel it. They experience it.
Okay, wait a minute. Work with me here. I'll
They
let
don't
you.
know what it is.
Wait. So you're telling me that a infant, a baby in the womb, can feel pain and distress, but cannot feel the love?
I did not say any of that.
Yeah, that's what you.
They feel it. They experience it, but they don't know the concept of it. They don't know that that's what it is.
Right, because you're trying to put a name on it. I'm not talking about does that child know what it's
You're
called.
talking about people, men, human beings putting names on stuff. I'm talking about the other side of that where there's not a name for it.
So, but yeah, no, but are you telling me that a baby does not?
The concept of love. A brand new, right out of the womb baby does not know the concept of pain
Okay,
or hurt or sadness.
Right, because listen, we're not on the same page right now. You're talking about the concept of love. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the verb love, the action, the ability to. Can a baby in the womb
Love.
feel sense,
Yeah.
experience.
I just said that.
Okay, what was your answer?
They experience love, hate, pain. Well, maybe not hate, but pain, sadness. They experience it, but they don't know that's what it is.
Right, of course. Yeah.
You're taught it.
So we just went on that. We just wasted all that time over wordplay.
Yeah, we got our lines crossed or something. Huh?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure your exact words were, "Babies do not feel
No,
the emotion."
I did not say any of that. No, when you listen to this back, when you listen to this back, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, so keeping with that,
Right.
the direction that we were going in was individuality, right?
Right.
When you're born, who you are as a person when you're born is probably the purest form of who you really are.
Absolutely.
But what happens is that your mom and dad, depending on geographical location, religion, culture, tells you who you are and what you're supposed to be. Okay, but here's the weird thing.
I said that too.
Right, but here's the weird thing about life and how society works. So let's take two kids. They're in elementary school. One is good at the scholastic part of going to school. Then you have another kid who can't sit still, who can't concentrate in that environment, but is perfectly capable of going out, grabbing his dad's 30-06 and busting a buck and bringing home meat to his family. But we say as a society that there must be something wrong with that kid because he can't sit still in a classroom and go through 12 fucking years of mandatory schooling. You see what I'm saying?
Are we talking about ADD and ADHD and all that shit?
Well, no, not really, but you make a good, you bring up a good, that's a good part of this. My point is that we are suffocating a lot of our kids when we send them to school, and then when they don't have the ability to sit still in a classroom for 8 hours or however long they go to school. I've been out so fucking long, I don't even remember. Seems like it gets shorter and shorter as the fucking years go by because they're at home all the damn time. But you take two kids, one's good at sitting his ass down, shutting up, writing the essays that he's supposed to, learning the math that he's supposed to, and all that shit, and he gets praises and shit. But the kid who doesn't have the ability to sit still, and maybe he's just not stimulated sitting in that classroom. But if you take him out in the wilderness and you teach him how to make traps and how to grow crops and teach him about, how to be a man, and you have two people. You have you as a dad teaching your son how to be a grown-up, out, not totally omitting school. You teach him everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? I don't want to ramble too much, but what I'm getting to is that we say that there's something wrong with this kid because he's unable to sit in a fucking classroom for so many hours, and he's unable to be stimulated in that environment. So we say that's bad and that's wrong. So what do? You mentioned it. Tell them about it.
ADHD and ADD, attention deficit. We medicate them. It's fucking bullshit. ADHD, ADHD and ADD is a made-up thing for grown-ups to make their fucking kids be good.
Yeah,
it's made up. You know what? You know what my Adderall was whenever I fucking didn't pay attention when I was little? I got my ass whipped.
But again, my point is, think about what we're doing to these kids when we say there must be something wrong with you. It is not natural for a child to sit in a fucking classroom for however many hours. Now I know that when they first go out, because I have a 9-year-old and I know preschool was like 2 fucking hours. It was pointless to even go home, really, because you'd just be having to drive back up there and pick their ass up. And then they get into junior high and it's a little longer, and then the high school it's a little shorter or whatever. But think about, that is not natural, bro.
Mm-mm.
But yet our government, our society does that. And then when it doesn't work, or a child is not built to sit in a fucking classroom like that because he's not stimulated in that way, we say something's wrong with him. So now think about what that does to that child. Because kids are smart. When that mom goes or dad goes to that PTA meeting, that kid's listening to what they're saying. And the teacher's saying, little Jimmy's bad. Okay, well, how is he bad? Well, because he don't do his fucking work. Okay, well, when he comes home, he chops a shit ton of cords of wood. Motherfucker went out and killed a fucking hog. Been feeding our family for the past 2 weeks.
He's too tired to do his homework, Miss Sally.
Yeah, but Miss
He's been
Sally's
hunting
saying
all
that.
day.
Huh?
I said he's been hunting all day, chopping
Yeah.
wood. He ain't got time to know ABCs and 1, 2, 3s.
Mm-hmm. But you see what I'm saying? And this is why. This is getting back to the main point. That's my goal. That's what
I do believe in rudimentary education. All a human being needs to know is how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know as far as book learning. You know, you need to know your some histories, where you come from, you know, that kind of shit. Reading,
yeah,
writing.
Those are lies.
Huh?
Those are lies.
What is?
Where you come from?
I am not going to do this shit with you in 2019. I'm telling you right now.
We are. This is exactly what we're
not.
going to be doing. We're creating free thinkers here. This is our job.
Us too is not a product of the man. Okay.
No, right. I'm not talking about math. Math is a relevant.
Reading and language and verbiage skills is not from the man. You need to know how to talk. You need to know how to read. You need to know how to write to communicate with another human being. That's essential. You need to know how to trade back and forth and how to add and subtract and multiply and divide. And that's all you need to know. All the X's and the Y's and the Z's in math problems are fucking irrelevant. I think it's stupid.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, I think it's stupid.
A lot of people.
Fractions are a part of the adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, because that's essential also. But you don't need to know all that other dumb shit. You know how many times I've ever had to use a fucking calculator in my life? 1,000,000. Because people come up with this dumbass math and all this stupid shit, and I have to have a calculator. I know how to add, multiply, subtract, and divide, though. In my head, on paper, on my feet, on my fingers. But all that other X, Y, and Z bullshit is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You've never had to use that shit ever again in your entire fucking life since school. Putting letters in math problems.
Again, this is what society has done to you. The truth is that mathematics is the earliest form of communication.
Right. That's essential.
Okay, so right, mathematics is communicate is the earliest form of communication. All
Right.
this other shit. So what my point is that math is important.
Dude, I think you're saying it one way and I'm saying it another, but it's the same shit. I feel like it is because I just said all that.
Yeah, my point is that people are telling you this,
Telling me what?
who to be and how to be.
What the fuck has that got to do with math?
Because we were talking about society says that you have to go to school and you have to sit in that fucking classroom from the age of 5 to the age of 18. Some people are not set up to do that internally. It's not who they are as a person. So when we come across those kids, we call them bad and we say that it's wrong, when that's not the truth.
Right.
You know what they
Said
do in
that-
Amish cultures? Kids like that?
Yeah, they send them off on their own in what's the word? Rumspringa.
Yeah, but I'm talking about before that. That doesn't happen until they hit a certain age. When they're little kids, and if they do not have the ability to sit in the classroom, they let them go out and play. They let them go out and do whatever it is that stimulates their brain and their mind.
Right.
That's how it should be. That's what we're doing wrong, in my opinion, with our youth.
But who teaches them that essential adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing when they don't want to sit in a classroom? Their parents do.
Well, in a weird way, and I know this is going to contradict everything I just said, but in a weird way, that shit is not relevant. Here's what's relevant.
Yes, it is.
No, I know. Hear me out for a second. The only thing that's relevant in the simplest way of life is how to eat, something to drink, and somewhere to live. That is your job. Nothing else. You go find something to eat, and you find something to drink, and you find somewhere to live. That's what your day consists of. Sex, eating and drinking, and being with your family and your friends. That's what life is about. But society says you are not allowed to go out there and kill an animal to feed your family. You must pay to do that. You can no longer go fish out of that river or that creek because the government says that you will be fined for that. When the truth of the matter is, you don't have to go to school. You don't have to go to work. Your work is providing for your family. And that is by, now I'm not saying that hunting and killing and eating meat, I don't know if we're supposed to be doing that. I'm on that weird thing right now. Did you know that our teeth not our teeth, our intestines are the same as herbivores?
No, I did not.
Our intestines compared to other animals, we should be herbivores. Our intestines say that. I've even heard people talk about we have canines, so we should be eating meat. Our canines say that we are carnivores.
Right.
Yet,
We're omnivores.
right, but is meat a necessary ingredient or a necessary nutrient for us to survive?
Who says that though?
It's not. Dude, you can get
Because people
protein from
No, because people have been living on meat and vegetation since the beginning of time.
fish, not meat in general, fish.
It's meat. It
Right.
comes from.
Well,
It comes from
wait a minute. There is a difference.
No, it's meat.
No, that's not true. There is a difference between fish.
What do you call it? What do you call it then? What do you call it?
Red fish.
It's meat.
No.
It's the
Not the
flesh of another being. It is meat.
Right. Wait. What?
No. Wait a minute. It's the what is it? Muscle and the
No.
cartilage. Yes,
No.
it is.
No. We don't eat the muscle and the.
The fuck you think a ribeye is? That's muscle, homie. What do you think fucking venison is? That's muscle. That's
But my
flesh.
point is, do we need that?
It's
Can you survive without eating meat?
yeah, people do it every day. But what I'm saying is people have been eating meat, fish, poultry, beasts of the land since the beginning of time. So humans in general have always been consuming meat and vegetation.
Yeah. But I got off track. My point was, the only thing that your job should be in the natural way of things is to eat, drink, and live. You think you have to know what 2 + 2 is in order to go out there and damn trap or kill game or fish or crop a vegetable?
Part of survival is being able to mingle and barter and trade and be socially active. That's part of survival. Because if you ain't in there good with Joe Blow down the dirt road right there, he's gonna come take everything you got, and vice versa.
Wait a minute.
You have to barter and trade and know what trading Joe Blow 2 of these right here is gonna get me 2 more back of something else. You have to be able to know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. You have to know that. You have to know, if you're hunting and gathering, you have to know how much of something you're hunting and gathering. You have to know numbers. You have to know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide.
Yeah, and I imagine you'd have to know that if
to live off the land.
Yeah, I imagine you'd have to know that for crops. You'd have to know how many days.
Yeah, you have to know the simple, rudimentary part of mathematics.
Yeah, I
you
guess
don't
you're
have
right.
to know
But
all this shit.
I know, but yeah, I guess so.
See, finally, the first fucking episode of 2019, I've actually stumped Paycheck.
No, but that doesn't discredit or devalue anything that I've said.
No, it doesn't. But I've actually. Oh, wait a minute. You might be right. That's the first time that's ever happened on this fucking show.
Right, but I and that's a good point, and I want to make sure that everybody understands and you understand that nothing I say is set in stone with me. I keep it fluid. If you can influence me otherwise, then I accept that. But that goes with the being a free thinker.
This is a pretty proud moment for me right now. I just want to let you know that.
But again, my point is that the problem in life is that we don't live for ourselves. We live for our offspring. We live for what mom and dad said we're supposed to do and we're supposed to be, and what the government and society says we're supposed to do and be. And I'm trying to combat that. I think you should live life, go to work, do all the things you're supposed to do that society says you're supposed to do, but at least have some thought about it. Have some thought about what you're doing. Right now, what we're doing is that we're spending a majority of our time working to live in places that we're never at, to drive vehicles that we're never able to drive. Or you do because, you work out with your personal vehicle, but you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That does not sound right to me. That does not sound logical. That, I try to base my thoughts off of logic. And the way society says that we're supposed to do things, to me, is not fucking logical.
Mm-mm.
But there has to be something called taxes.
No, there doesn't.
That way the elite and the government and all these powerful entities are able to make money.
But there doesn't have to be that.
Right, but the problem is that people are not free thinkers. They do what they're
I
told.
not pay my taxes and spend the most freest life in jail I've ever spent. Not have to worry about that job. Not have to worry about that family. Not have to worry about the hunting and the gathering part because somebody else is feeding me. I don't have to pay my taxes. I could not pay my taxes and be the freest motherfucker in this world.
But you have options. You don't have to pay taxes.
I know I don't. I just said that.
No, but you're saying but there will be consequences.
Of course, according to the man.
But there is an option that you could take that would eliminate those repercussions.
If I went out to that really remote tribe out in the woods somewhere like you were talking about that doesn't do all that, yeah, I could. That's an out.
Yeah, well, you could start by giving up your driver's license and your social security card.
Yeah.
And now you claim sovereignty. Now I haven't done all the research. I don't know all the facts, but apparently it is possible.
This is a real thing?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just got done with a documentary about this old guy. He's a mountain man, and he lives off the land. He don't go to work. He don't pay taxes. He don't drive. He has situated himself near a water source, and he's built him a little cabin in the woods, and he lives just fine. He eats every day. He drinks water every day. And one day, he was fishing with his homemade fishing pole. And the game warden come up on him and asked him if he had a fishing license. And the guy says, well, I don't need a fishing license. He said, I'm a child of God. God gave me these resources. You know, all I had to do is learn how to use them and, you know, receive them.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, well, the game warden says, no, according to the United States law, you have to have a fishing license. And he says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. United States, this and that. He said, I live on this land that was given to me by God. I'm a child of God. I was born. And he says, well, do you have a driver's license? Nope. Now, this guy's an old guy, so his family didn't sign a birth certificate. He didn't have a birth certificate. He was born on the couch in some cabin. So he didn't have a birth certificate. He didn't have a social security card. This guy was not a United States citizen, but lived in the United States his whole life. He says that I live here. You guys have your laws and your rules and your regulations and all this stuff. He said, but they ain't got nothing to do with me. He said, I'm living life the way God said I was supposed to live. I'm honest. I don't steal nothing. I kill what I eat. I find my water, and that's the way I live. So dude took it all the way to Supreme Court and won. But now if you have a driver's license, if you have a social security card, and we can talk about a social security card if you want to, that social security card is payment for you. You are paying. You are owned. You are a piece of property. That social security card says.
No, it's a serial number.
Yeah. So you know the story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you turn that in, and you didn't sign a contract with the government, did you?
Personally, no.
Right. Your parents did, right?
Correct.
Okay. Under whose authority?
State I was born in.
Under their authority.
Right.
Okay. Well, you're an adult. They no longer have authority. So that contract is null and void. But if you go get a driver's license, and if you pay taxes, then that contract is legit.
Right.
So you have the option. A lot of people just follow the herd. Oh, I'm supposed to go to work and I'm supposed to pay taxes.
Who do you turn? Well, I mean, if I wanted to claim sovereignty on myself, who do you give all this shit? Did you give it back to the government and say I'm done?
Something like again, I don't know all the.
Just on paper anymore?
I don't know. I don't know all the information, but I will say, what about Native Americans? Don't they have, what are they called? Reservations?
Yeah.
Where local, state, and government officials are not allowed to impede?
Yep.
Why do you think that is? Because they are not United States of America citizens.
Yep.
They are, however, citizens of this country, of this land.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I've got family that lives on a reservation, man, in Nebraska. So I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're living the right way.
Right.
We are wasting our family time. We are our babysitters raise our kids.
So hypothetically speaking, what would happen if everybody, just speaking on the United States here, if everybody in the United States got together, stood in lines at their local state houses and courthouses and whatnot, and turned all their fucking credentials in, birth certificates, driver's license, social security cards, and said, fuck it. Everybody in the United States, what would happen?
They would call that anarchy, and they would enact martial law, and it would take all of humanity on this, on this continent. It would take them fighting. There are way more people than there are governments and soldiers. If everybody in this world, minus the government and our armed forces, were to arm themselves, we would outnumber the enemy tremendously, would we not?
Of course, absolutely.
The problem is there are too many people walking in a straight line following the person in front of them. And that line goes back decades. Well, I don't know about centuries. A lot has changed in 100 years, but you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't have the intestinal fortitude to do that. I was talking to a guy.
The intestinal fortitude, is that what you said?
Huh?
You say the intestinal fortitude?
No, I think I said testicle fortitude.
Testicular.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. I was trying to.
Like you said intestinal. I was like, what? Intestinal fortitude.
A guy who has never had a legit job. He's always sold drugs or he's a hustler. He doesn't work for the man. He don't pay taxes. Now, I'm not saying this is the right way to do things, but the way he lives his life is interesting to me because he works how he wants to work. And dude's doing it. He eats every day. He eats good. He's got a place to stay. He's got transportation, but he's never had a legit job. He's a different person than I am.
American dream, man. Independence.
Well, what happened is that society says that one day you're not going to be physically capable of providing for yourself and your family. So let me hold a little bit of money here and there out of your check, and then when you get to that age, I'm going to give you a very small amount of that money back that will help you live as an old man. That's what we're doing, right?
But really, realistically, you don't need money to survive.
No, all you have to do, an old man at 90 years old can go out in them woods and trap or kill an animal or grow his crops. But society says, and look, all this is you have these guys who crave money and power. So they manipulate you, and they say that it is in your best interest to allow the government to help you live your life. Like this government shutdown right now. Have you been affected by it? Me either. Now, we will be affected by it with tax season right around the corner.
I was getting ready to say, come tax time, we will be.
But other than that, and the whole tax thing, my dad explained it to me like this. At no point should you ever receive any money back from the government. He said, here's what happens. You pay the government taxes. So what they do is that they take your tax money and they invest it however they want to. to make them money, the government money. And then at the end of the year, they take the money that you gave them after they've invested it on their behalf, and then they give you back a small portion of it. So all you're doing is you're shuffling money between the government, but the government's taking some out of it and investing it on their behalf. So the whole tax thing in general, it's no secret. There's a phrase, taxation is theft. Anything that you grow, kill, build, you should be able to keep. Yet the government says, nope, we're going to need a little bit of that. We're going to need a piece of that. Why? To give money to these other assholes.
It's the Robin Hood theory, man.
Dude, it's the whole thing is just a weird thing to me, and it plagues me. I like being a free thinker, but at the same time, this shit is nonstop. It bothers me. Sometimes it aggravates me and it irritates me. Sometimes, if I didn't have a family, I would probably run to the fucking woods right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you can't even do that because apparently every inch of this continent is owned by the government. So you can no longer go out into the middle of the thickest woods you can find and stake your claims.
There are some places you can homestead. Not around here, but out in the Midwest in that really remote part of the country. They still have homesteader laws.
Yeah, because you can't hear. Matter of fact, I just saw a news broadcast. It was a while ago, so I don't know how long ago it was or whatever. But a guy created a homestead, literally lived off the land.
Mm-hmm.
Had him a water source, solar panels, all that good stuff, and he was threatened with jail.
Yeah. Now homesteaders still have to pay taxes on what they claim, though. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's that loophole gray area in there. You can claim it however much you want to, but you still got to pay us to be there.
And now I talk a good game, but in the times that we live in now, it is now possible for an invasion. So a small part of me likes the fact that we have a governing body that would I thought the whole thing was fixing to fall down. You see me, I jumped at it.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of a governing body that would deal with that threat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because as a homesteader, as a sovereign individual, I wouldn't know that shit happened until it showed up.
Yeah, I think the governing body of a country is a necessary evil, man. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people like it, but the people, for those that don't like it, it's a necessary evil. Because if there wasn't somebody to stand in front of us during that invasion, just like you said, we wouldn't know it even happened until it was already too late. So having somebody there as a middleman to speak for you is that necessary evil.
Okay, but
you might not like it, but it has to happen.
Well,
because just like the whole entire country claiming sovereignty of the government, and we're all out there living on our own, living off the land, and we get invaded by another country, and you're out there hunting one day, and a motherfucker just comes up and takes you and claims everything that you got. You ain't gonna know it until it happens. So having somebody there to fend that off and get them the fuck out of here is kind of a good thing.
Well, what if that governing body let that invasion happen? or let them in.
Then there needs to be another uprising, sounds like to me.
Okay, so what if part of the government wanted to let them in, but the other part of the government was like, well, let's build a wall just in case.
I see where you're going.
You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going. Yeah. But see, in that particular instance, some of those people trying to get in, not all, but some, mean no harm.
Right. But we agree
that it's that one bad seed in there that makes it bad for everybody else.
But should we at least attempt to vet all of them to see if we can find out?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the only way to do that is to pinpoint an entryway. Think of it like this. If we had a wall with 50,000 doors that somebody could come in, that would be a little difficult to vet each person coming in, because you have all these fucking doors that you gotta guard. But if you had a wall and you had one door to come in, and that's where the vetting process happened, that seems logical, right?
No, not one door.
Not one. In theory, one door. Listen, if you were a supervisor and you had crews that you had to deal with, it would be easier for you to deal with one or two crews as opposed to 50,000 crews. Come on, man. This ain't rocket science.
No, it ain't. That's not what I'm trying to say here.
No, but you understand what I'm saying?
I don't think that, I'm not opposed of the wall. I'm not for the wall. I'm riding the fence.
There ain't even a damn fence. It's a wall, motherfucker.
Right. Well, I just, anyway, I think, we shouldn't necessarily have open borders, but I don't necessarily think that we need to shut everybody out either. Because this country is the greatest country in the world.
I know, but wait a minute. Nobody's shutting anybody out. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about as far as shutting people out.
The wall is to stop the flow of people, is it not? That's what walls are for. They're for division.
It's for organized importation. No?
The concept of a wall.
Right.
A wall.
Mm-hmm.
When you build a wall in your house, that is to separate one side from the other. That's what a wall is for. Whether it's a fence or whether it's concrete or wood, that's what it's for. So whenever you build a wall, that is creating the illusion of division.
No, wait a minute.
Yes, the illusion of division.
When I build that wall for my house, I put a door on it. That door allows me to open it and close it when I see fit. So when I open that door, you're going through the vetting process. There is still a vetting process, no matter how many walls are here.
Yeah, but see, I'm not saying let everybody across the damn wall, okay? I don't believe that's what I'm telling you. I don't believe there should be a wall, and I don't believe there shouldn't be a wall. Because the wall itself, just in general, gives the illusion of division. That's what walls are supposed to be for. And in the minds of the people that are being affected by that wall, it is creating the illusion of division, whether it's being done for the right reason or not. That wall is creating the illusion of division amongst people.
No, but
us as human beings, as you talk about, being divided, that's what I just said earlier, being divided or setting apart yourself from society, which is that wall, is separating everybody. There's no communication. There's no trading back and forth. There's no there's no unity there. That wall, even though they were letting people through the right way, that wall is still creating division amongst the people. And that whole idea is what people have a problem with.
Yeah, but see, but it's because they don't understand how this works. Have you ever tried to get into Mexico?
Nope.
Did you know that you could be shot and killed on site for entering Mexico without the proper credentials and vetting process?
Mm-hmm.
Shot and killed immediately, no questions asked. Did you know that?
They're doing the same thing on our borders, man.
No, they're not. They're going to center.
You don't think there's guards out there right now with Hispanic people jumping a wall and running, and they're picking them off like deer? That happens every day. That happens every day.
Right. Listen, yes, in the past, but not with today's technology. You can no longer get away with that vigilante behavior. There are satellites, there's drones, there are cameras on vehicles and on persons. We live in a different world, you know, as far as video technology. You know, everything's recorded now. Big Brother is everywhere. That doesn't happen anymore. What happens is that we collect them, we put them in a center, a building, whatever. We feed them, we clothe them as they're going through the process. And if they were found to be in this country legally, they're deported. If they are found to be in this country legally, then I guess they're free to do whatever they want to do. Now, I will say, I agree with you. I know what you're saying. And there may be those vigilante, because did you know that there are independent contractors out there protecting the wall too? Retired military personnel?
Yep.
So I'm sure that, you know, there's some shadiness going on. But have you ever tried to enter Canada?
No.
Do you think you can just walk into Canada?
No.
No, there's a process.
But there's not a wall.
Huh?
There's not a wall.
Well, it's a border.
Right, but it's not a wall. That's my whole entire thing. It's the wall that people have a problem with, man.
All you're talking about is the difference in material used. Or the quantity of material used.
Trump is talking about building a physical fucking wall to separate Mexico from the United States. There's not a physical fucking wall on the border from Canada and the United States. It's a border, not a fucking wall. There's a difference, obviously.
But again, you're only talking about a material used. Can you enter Canada illegally?
Yeah.
How?
In the same way they do in Mexico.
Well, isn't the terrain set up?
People cross borders illegally every day, man.
I know.
There's not enough, is the problem. There's not enough patrol.
All right. Well, I hear you, and I agree with you, and I'll think about that. You make a good point. But what if somebody is trying to enter this country for a better life, to live the American way, yet refuse to assimilate to the American way?
They got to do it the right way, or they don't get to come. And
that's it's not just a wall issue. I don't think. I think it's. We all know. You and I both said it. This is the melting pot. There are many cultures here, but there is a way to get in here, and if that is not working, then we need to fix that. It's that simple. It's that easy. There's a problem and a solution.
You've seen what the wall done, and we talked about it earlier. You've seen what the wall done for Berlin.
That is not.
The physical wall. I know we just talked about it. I know what the wall was for, but I'm talking about the physical existence of a wall. That's what I'm talking about here.
But that wall wasn't to keep people out. It was to keep people.
I just said I know what the wall was for, but it was the idea of a physical fucking wall separating a people.
Right, but you can't compare the two. They're nothing alike. They mean there's nothing similar.
Right.
Huh?
We're talking about physical walls here. That's what I'm talking about. I don't give a fuck what they meant. That's not what I'm talking about. The idea of the wall.
We're talking about the wall that Trump wants to build, and we're talking about the Berlin Wall that was taken down. We're talking about two walls in particular and the meaning of both of them. We're not talking about just some wall.
Dude,
that's what you said.
Talking about the idea of a physical wall. What both walls have to do with one another is irrelevant. It's what the wall symbolizes.
What does it's not even a wall, first of all. So how could it symbolize anything?
Trump wants to build a physical fucking wall between both countries, not just a fucking razor wire fence. He wants to build a physical fucking wall.
But is it because he's racist, or is it because there's an issue that needs to be addressed?
There's an issue that needs to be addressed, but you can do that way differently than building an actual wall, man. Canada does it every day.
Okay, so fixing that problem would require a vetting process.
I absolutely agree with that, dude.
Wait.
All that.
A better vetting process.
Yes.
Okay. So there's some work involved in that.
That work doesn't require billions of dollars to build a physical fucking wall.
I know, but listen to me. Logically, let's
take that money and invest it in the fucking vetting process, not the fucking wall to divide everybody. What the fuck's that gonna do? But create chaos.
What if that wall is part of the vetting process?
But that wall has that. What the hell does that wall have to do with anything about the vetting process?
It allows. It goes back to the same analogy that I used.
How come there isn't a big fucking wall in between America and Canada then, if that's the case?
There is not an immigration problem coming from Canada, so a wall is not required. There's no additional. There's not an issue that needs to be addressed. There is no immigration issue coming or going. What I understand
the issue is legal immigration here, in the vetting process. There's already a vetting process. It's not good enough. Take the money you're trying to build a motherfucking wall with,
and do what?
I mean, and invest it in the fucking vetting process.
Okay, in which way?
The paper trail, the actual idea of getting cleared to come into the United States, the paper, right. The whole process.
You know how long that takes?
It takes years.
You know how much money it takes?
It takes a lot of it.
Okay, so if I was in Mexico and I said
on the other side until we can tell you to come in.
Right.
You don't need a wall here. Just play by the fucking rules, and that's all it takes.
That's the American culture, to play by the rules and to live, under the United States Constitution.
Well,
that's our culture.
To Donald Trump, this fucking wall is going to help with the drug cartels and the passing of drugs back and forth. That fucking wall is not going to stop an airplane.
Right.
So that's not going to stop a thing.
Yeah, but listen.
You're going to be able to
have technology.
Find out where more drugs, because they can't get it across with foot soldiers anymore, so they're shipping more across in the fucking air.
Oh yeah, listen. I know that where there's a will, there's a way. I know that I can lock that door all I want to. I can secure all my material possessions all I want to, but if a thief wants them, they're going to get in. They just have to find the right tools and resources. But if they want to get in, they can get in. Same thing with what's going on right now. why would a Mexican citizen go through the vetting process that takes years and costs a lot of money when they could just walk across the border free? And not only that, but they're awarded for doing that by giving tax credits, housing, all that good stuff. There is no incentive to do it the right way. However, there is a lot of incentive.
I said invested in that process.
I know, but that process that you're talking about, the investing that you're talking about, is by building a wall. How else? Well, give me an example. Give me something. What would be another way to spend that money?
Go to the Canadian and American border.
Hey, hold that thought 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, see, you done fucked up
I
now.
said 1 second. You're already wasting 1 second.
Oh, man. I can see what 2019 is going to be like already. Oh, man. Now I've got to fill dead air time while he goes off and fucks around. I've got to fill dead air.
There you go. Appreciate that.
You go off and take a piss and I don't get to.
No, I didn't take this. Hold on 1 second.
See? I'm still feeling dead air. Motherfucker, you. If this is any inclination of what 2019 is going to be like, we're in for a fucking ride, y'all. If it's any inclination, 2019 for Conversations with Paycheck and Red is going to be interesting. I can sing you a song. I'm going to sing a song. I'm waiting for my best friend to come back so we can talk some more. He leaves me alone and makes me feel dead air.
Whoa.
There he is.
Did you run that by corporate?
No, corporate left me alone to fend for my fucking self. So I had to fill dead airspace, man.
Listen, I'm trying to run a household, a podcast, a business, everything all at the same time. Hold on.
Oh, see? I don't have a second verse for that song, okay? So, man. I'm just going to have to cut this part out. This is just more editing work for me. Oh, this fucking dead
Did you
air.
really cut this out?
Huh? No.
Did you really edit this out?
No, this is comedy gold, man. I'm just saying, if there was too much dead space, I probably would. But since everybody gets to hear my wonderful voice and me filling dead airspace, I'm just gonna leave it and let it roll, man. Fuck it. It's the first episode. We're talking shit here.
Sometimes we're affected by the influences around us. No matter how much we say, "Don't bother me" while I'm doing a fucking podcast.
I told you not to bother me while I'm cleaning my room.
I bought a Harley last year.
So
All right, good talk. Good
so
talk.
we could just go from the immigration problem in the United States to your Harley, you conceited fucker.
Yeah, we're shooting the shit here. We're not talking about the fucking wall.
Yeah, you spend a lot of your fucking time and a lot of your podcast time working on your fucking motorcycle and riding your motorcycle.
Yeah, it's if there's a lot of regret now.
Part of that character flaw.
Well, had I known the adrenaline rush that one would get from riding a motorcycle, I probably wouldn't have done a lot of the drugs that I have and gotten into half the trouble I have.
Just because of a motorcycle.
Yeah, dude, it's the craziest feeling. And not just any motorcycle. We're talking about a Harley Davidson. So when I pull up to a light,
What's different than a Harley Davidson and a badass Honda?
just you saying a badass Honda sounded super weird to me.
I know. That was the point. That was the point.
Now, there's nothing wrong with Hondas. Whatever fucking bike you ride, that's your business. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about a Harley Davidson though. So when I pull up to a light, I have 18-inch ape hangers. That motor's bump, 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 bump. You know what I mean? It does something to you. I know a guy who was an IT guy who worked, in corporate America. The khaki pants, the polo shirt, got him a bike. Now the motherfucker's got him a beard, got him a half sleeve going on. It literally changed his entire life.
But who tells you to do that though?
Listen,
Huh?
nobody tells you to do it. You just fucking do it.
Manly feel that you get from that bump, 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 and the fucking ape hangers and the beard and the fucking tattoos. That's a stereo. That society tells you to feel that way.
It's funny that you said that because I was talking to somebody the other day and they said that I was a stereotypical American.
Yep.
And I didn't understand what that meant. And then they started pointing out the okay, so you're a truck driver.
Bald eagle, American flag, truck driving, motorcycle riding badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I've been telling you that.
Purely by accident.
Yeah, I've been telling you that.
I didn't go off of a checklist. You know what I mean? But it's super weird that dude, I get it. So I'm a truck driver. I ride a Harley. I shoot guns. I have a pit bull. I have a beard.
Walking stereotype.
Yeah, it's embarrassing almost.
Yeah.
But I am
You're everything that America represents.
Yeah, but apparently I'm all the wrong things with America.
Right. I just find the irony in that whole entire situation very, very comical.
But the weird thing is that I'm a cultured guy. Like I've traveled, and I'm not talking about just travel on vacation. Like I've lived in multiple countries. You know what I mean?
All right. No, Paycheck's a world traveler. We get it. You've only said it like every fucking episode.
But it's important because I want people to understand that when they're listening to us, we give off a vibe that we're just country boys from the South.
Dumb hick from West Virginia, and you're a cultured world traveler.
Yeah. No, I'm a cultured world traveler, but because I'm from Georgia and I like pickup trucks and motorcycles and, I'm just a dumb redneck and I don't know anything. And somebody even told me,
I'm cultured.
Just because you lived in different countries doesn't mean that you know anything about culture.
I'm bona fide. I'm bona fide.
Yeah. Now
I'm the Pelias. I'm American. But you, sir, are a walking American billboard sign.
Yeah. Yeah. That is ironic.
You drip America.
But I will say this.
You patriotism.
Yeah, but wait a minute now. I am patriotic to this land.
And I'm just a dumb hillbilly from West Virginia.
It wears Crocs and
According
cargo shorts.
I'm not cultured at all.
And a fanny pack. Have you ever lived anywhere other than the East Coast?
No.
No. See? So you limit yourself on exactly what.
But I'm cultured though. I've seen it and I've lived it and I've done a lot of shit, man.
On the East Coast.
I'm cultured. East Coast culture, yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't even eaten at an In-N-Out burger.
So what? A lot of people have never experienced Bojangles.
True, fair enough. Have you ever ate at a Carl's Jr.?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Huh. What about a Jack in the Box?
I've drove by one, but I've never eaten one.
Have you ever ridden or driven down the infamous Route 66?
No.
Have you ever drove through the Mojave Desert and then all of a sudden come across Las Vegas, Nevada?
No, sir, I have not.
Have you ever eaten at an authentic Mexican restaurant in San Colinas, California, which is mere miles from the Mexican border?
No, sir. But I have ate an authentic Mexican restaurant before.
But have you ever been in Long Beach, California, listening to a Snoop Dogg song?
No.
Yeah. See, I have. Yeah, I'm pretty cultured. I have been to a Taco Bell in this country where nobody in that Taco Bell spoke English.
That's good for Taco Bell.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Taco Bell could use a few Hispanics in the kitchen.
I like Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell better than an authentic Mexican restaurant.
But have you ever experienced the snowy hills of West Virginia?
No, I have, however, experienced the snowy hills of Stuttgart, Germany, Spangdahlem, Germany, Bitburg, Germany, Sweden. No, I haven't been to Sweden. I was lying about that. I was lying about just trying to make friends. Trying to be cool and popular.
You got a little bit of culture on your sleeve right there.
Yeah. Did I? I have walked to school in snow up to my hips before.
Really?
Absolutely. Both ways.
Uphill? Both ways?
I cannot recollect the shit. I had the terms. I had the what is it? The
Have you ever
not the texture.
Have you ever floated down a Blackwater River in a one-man boat and a fishing pole and a six-pack full of beer?
I have been down the Itchituckney River in an inner tube. The Itchituckney. It's in Georgia. It's like a 3-hour-long river. Mountain. Oh, dude.
Blackwater?
No, it's crystal clear mountain water.
Hey, that's what I said. Blackwater. You didn't listen to the question. Blackwater.
Yeah, because I don't see color when it comes to water.
That's what color the fucking water is.
Listen, you may think it's black because somebody told you, hey, look at this black water here. When I dip my fucking tongue in it and I pull it out, it's regular fucking water.
Yeah. Yeah, that water's also clear about that deep. But until you get down in it, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So guess what? That's black water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not clear.
No, I have not. But I'm not a whitewater rapids kind of guy. You know what I mean? I don't wake up and be like, hey, you know what? I think I want to
I'm
go
not talking about whitewater rafting. I'm not talking about that at all. I said slow trolling down a Blackwater River with a fishing pole and a six-pack of beer. I said nothing about whitewater rafting.
Oh, yeah, dude. What? I live in Georgia, or I live in Florida right now. Yeah, there's shit ton of that down here.
Have you ever done it, though?
Yeah, of course. Canoes, fucking paddle boats.
Canoes and paddle boats. No, dude, I'm talking about a one-man fishing boat, a John boat.
Yeah. Matter of fact.
Motherfucker said a paddle boat. Yeah, I've been fishing in a paddle boat. That's queer. That's fucking gay.
Matter of fact, I've been on a John boat.
I've never
going
been
across
fishing.
the. Oh my God, what's going on here? St. Mary's. No. Shit. St. John's. Going across the St. John's River, and the motor went out, and we had to use the trolling motor to drive the 3 miles back to the fucking boat ramp.
I'm talking about enjoying trolling down a fucking river,
Yeah, of course. Dude, I'm
Mhm.
Southern country.
fishing pole. and
I've done that and set trout lines while doing it. While I had a fishing pole in the boat.
Preach, brother. Yeah.
Matter of fact, the last time I did it, I went with some
Right.
family
That's
to
where
it.
I come.
Huh?
So that's where I come from. That's how cultured I am.
Yeah. I've even done it, matter of fact, in Blackshear, Georgia. Some family they're part of a hunting club, big old cabin in the middle of the woods, right there on the river. And that's what we did.
That's good shit, man.
All right. Well, I think that was about a 3-hour. That was a 3-hour episode there. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, about 2.5 of edited episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
2.5 hours. Probably one of the longest episodes we've ever done, actually.
Yeah, and I think we did good. We shot the shit. We
We did.
shooted the shit. Shot the shit.
Shot the shit.
Yeah. We shot the shit for a little while.
Oh,
All right. Well, this is a good place to stop. Sure.
I guess so.
I mean, I don't want to have a 5-hour episode.
Whatever.
All right. Well, do we still need to tell people where they can find us? So listen, if you can't find us, then get your son or your daughter to look into podcasts. If you're listening to us, then you know about podcasts. So just look for our other shit. We got a lot of shit going on. We shoot the shit a lot. There's a lot of shit back there.
A lot.
So check it out. And that's it then, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's how we stop a podcast, just like that.
All right.
We are now done.
That's how we're doing it in 2019?
Oh yeah, I'll put it in post, man.
Oh, this is in post editing.
Yeah. Get a pre-recorded track up in there.
Yeah, I heard that.
You
All
have
right,
been
that's
listening-
it.
You have been listening to Conversations with Paycheck and Red. Make sure to check out Paycheck and Red on Facebook. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got all that.
Yeah, just make sure you throw the YouTube in there, okay?
Oh, of course.
Shout out to all the YouTube fans. Appreciate you.
And, oh, shit. I just forgot what the fuck I was going to say. Just that easy.
Well, real quick, Sweden, what's up? We see you. Appreciate it.
And Singapore, and Canada, and the UK.
Shit, really?
Yeah. Not just fucking Sweden.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, until next time. See ya.
Later.
You've been listening to the Conversations with Paycheck and Red podcast. Check out Paycheck and Red on Facebook at Paycheck and Red, Instagram at Paycheck and Red podcast, and Twitter at Paycheck and Red. And don't forget, paycheckandred.com, where you can buy merch, you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can listen to the podcast.